10 most terrifying things that fell from the sky. Pick up a history book and you'll find lots of stories about strange objects falling from the sky. People perceived events such as rains of rats, bats, or iguanas as a sign of plague or a benevolent creature sent by the divine. Science eventually won, bringing out explanations for most of the inexplicable episodes. However, some mysteries remain unsolved, leaving the locals with their own theories. So in today's video, I'll be talking about the most terrifying things that fell from the sky, so keep watching. Number 1. Frozen iguanas. Iguanas, a herbivorous lizard, is among the most popular reptile pets in the United States. They mostly choose trees as their habitat and are generally found in water, but can also leap from a branch. Now don't consider them weak. These guys are tough enough to land on solid ground from a considerable height. But that's not the interesting thing about them. Iguanas can actually fall down from trees, thanks to their special freezing ability. How can an iguana actually freeze? Do they die after they're frozen? Well, iguanas slow down once the temperature drops below 50 degrees. Bigger iguanas even shut down when the temperature is extremely cold. Once they freeze, iguanas are unable to hold onto the branch and they fall from the trees, which are more like falling from the sky. They fall onto the humans and might hit their heads. But don't worry, they won't actually hurt you because they're in hibernation. But we never know what they'll do once the temperature rises. Back in 2020, folks in Miami had to deal with just that. Number 2. Fallen angel. Pictures of an old lady with wings and chicken legs wrapped in a white cloth went viral on Facebook and WhatsApp. Many thought it was actually a real-life angel sent by God from the sky, but that's not the actual truth. There were questions like, is this the end of the world? Are we all about to die? Well, no. Here are the actual facts. The pictures were from an art installation by Beijing artists Sun Wan and Peng Yu for their work titled Angel in 2008. Now, the installation might look pretty realistic, but we assure you it's just a piece of art and does not possess any supernatural powers. On that note, make sure you appreciate the artists because they got some real talent for making the sculpture look real. Like, wow. Number 3. Raining frogs. We all know what raining cats and dogs means, but have you ever heard of raining frogs? Well, you're about to. Believe it or not, it's among the most natural occurrences to date. This undeniable natural spectacle has taken place numerous times, once in Calgary, City of Canada. What made them fall from the sky? Generally, frogs weigh only a few ounces, and sometimes they get swept up by water or by strong winds or harsh weather conditions and then fall from the sky once the pressure drops, mostly accompanied by the rain. Believe it or not, but frog rains have actually happened many times, and people have had their own theories about it. Hey, at least the little guys got a tour of the skies. Number 4. Boiled bats. First frozen frogs in Canada, and now it's raining boiling bats in Australia. Climate change is really getting out of hand here, folks. Australia got extremely hot and made life hard for not just humans, but animals too. Hundreds of bats died because they didn't have enough cover to protect themselves. A heartbreaking scene of dozens of baby bats piled up on the ground was found. Bats are already scary creatures, but the sight of hundreds of dead bats? Yeah, that's the stuff of nightmares. The adult bats sought shade somehow, but the babies were left drooping from the trees. Apparently, they were less heat tolerant and got their brains fried. Yeah, this one is less fascinating and more painful if you ask us. Volunteers tried to rescue them, but most of them died as soon as they hit the ground. Number 5. A space station. Australians not only witnessed boiling bats, but also NASA's Skylab space station as it hit the ground. The observers recounted it as a spectacular firework or a huge meteorite, but it was not. It was actually a burning wreckage of a space station the size of a 3-bedroom house, rushing towards the west coast of Australia. What caused it? Well, solar activity got way out of hand and heated the Earth's atmosphere greater than normal, causing it to decay and deorbit. Imagine minding your own business, and all of a sudden, you get hit by a giant ball of debris. Terrifying, right? No one was hurt, but the Australian government did ask NASA to pay $400 for the flying debris that might have caused critical damage. So the next time you see a shooting star coming towards you, make sure you run away instead of making a wish. It might not be a star. Number 6. Treasure. We've all heard this saying that money doesn't fall from the sky, and the only way to actually have money is to earn it. Heaven knows our parents have said it a dozen times. But what if we told you that's not the case? At least back in the 18th century, Sometimes it's raining frozen iguanas or boiling bats, and now it's coins. Seriously, guys, how did this happen? Were they sent from above to help the poor? Not really. It was all due to a storm that caused the treasure hunt buried in the soil out into the air. Imagine you don't have money to buy your favorite ice cream, and all of a sudden it's raining coins. You would be really lucky. Number 7, golf balls. Dozens and dozens of golf balls fell out of the sky in 1969. Now you must all be wondering, why golf balls? What's the logic behind that? Well, there is no scientific explanation for this. The streets of Punta Gorda, Florida were all littered with golf balls. Florida experienced a heavy downpour back then. The balls baffled the waterfront community, but no golf clubs reported any golf balls missing. So where did they come from? Likely explanation? Perhaps a water spout passed over a pond at a nearby golf club, sucking decades of poorly aimed balls into the sky. Number 8, Hodges meteorite. In 1954, an Alabama woman became the first known person to be directly hit by a meteorite. One day, Ann Hodges was sleeping peacefully in her home when all of a sudden she was struck by a meteorite. The meteorite crashed through the roof of her home in Saratoga. It first struck her radio and then hit her in the hip. That would be something really painful and also scary when you're actually having a nap. Was she able to survive this? Yes, she was, and not only that, overnight she became a celebrity as the news of her strange story traveled across the country. Today, the 8.5 meteorite is on display at the Alabama Museum of Natural History. Safe to say we don't want to trade places with her. Number 9, rocket. Remember back in 2021 when a rocket came crashing towards Earth and no one knew where it would land? Somewhere like New York or maybe New Zealand. Chunks of rocket debris falling from the sky is something really horrible, and the fact that it might hit you is enough to haunt most of our nights. Well, the good news is that the rocket landed in the Indian Ocean, and only the trees were affected by the debris. China said that it would closely track the debris. It also stated that it posed little risk to anyone on the ground. NASA claimed that Beijing did not give the specific trajectory information to alert where the possible debris might fall, and thus they just had to guess it. Number 10, candy. Ever imagined candy falling from the sky? Sounds magical, right? Back in 1987, the roads of California literally got covered with candy twice. Looks like Halloween came early for California. A crash involving 2 trucks caused one of the trucks to lose all of its sweet merchandise into the air. Plaques of sweetened sugar around a quarter diameter were found lying on the ground. Paradise for anyone with a sweet tooth. We would all definitely have picked some if we had been there. Who doesn't love an unforeseen candy storm in the forecast? If only lightning would strike again. And that's a wrap for this video. What other terrific things can you think of that fell from the sky? Did you ever witness any one of these incidents? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Bye now.